Movement of the week is ground to over shoulder. So this is a popular movement we see in our studios. We're basically trying to pick a weighted ball or D-ball up off the ground, extend our hips to create some lift, and float that ball over our shoulder. We're trying to do that as efficiently as possible. So we need to be good at things like our deadlifts, deadlift high pulls, and even the cleans that were featured last week would be helpful to be able to do this correctly. So this is a hinge-based movement, so we need to have a good flat back with our hips set back behind our heels with the ball right in between our feet. We do not want it in front of our toes or behind our heels even. We want it right in between our feet. We want to be able to put our fingertips under the ball as best we can. We want to keep our arms as straight as possible as we stand up out of our hinge position. If we do that with enough speed and force from our hip extension, the ball should become weightless and come up towards our chest. That is when we shift our hands under the ball and guide the ball over our shoulder, let it drop. You can step out of the way as this happens, turn around and perform your next rep. The most common errors I see with a ball over shoulder comes from not trusting our grip on the ball. If we feel like our hands are going to slip, then we tend to want to get our forearms clutched onto the ball or try to get our hands wrapped completely underneath it, and we try to scoop the ball up. We always want to try and pick the ball up with straight arms. When we bend our arms, that means we're going to have to hinge at our knees or our hips to get even lower to pick up the ball. The further we get towards the ground, the less powerful we become. So we start to arch our spine, we start to hinge over at the knees too much, and we lose a lot of power that way. A good thing to practice is your ball shrug. So you'll violently pull the ball off the ground with straight arms, and your goal is to shrug right at the point of hip extension to make the ball float up towards your chest. Try this a few times. It gets you trusting your hands, it gets you trusting your leg drive and your shrug. And then you know you only have to guide the ball over your shoulder from there. So practice those ball shrugs if you need to. Pretty simple if you're trying to progress this movement. You're just going to need to add more weight. I've been doing these with a 50-pound ball. We could easily grab a 70 or 100-pound ball. It's a lot of energy output to get that ball up and over quickly and for high repetitions, and that's usually how we see them done in studios in sets of 10, 15, even 20. So that's what I would urge you to do. Try a heavier weight and try and work on that higher volume. This is a fun one. Make sure we're good at our deadlifts and things like that first. Let's try it out. Let's have some fun with it. I'll see y'all next week.